Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host here, Chantele Francis, here with my co-host, Tamika. How are you today, Tamika?
I'm good. How are you, world?
I'm pretty good. It just started raining, which I'm like not excited about because it was I wanted to go outside, but now it's raining and it's raining kind of hard. So other than that, I'm pretty excited to talk about this episode. This exclusive episode.
Yeah. So some people had a hard time getting it last night, from what I saw on Twitter. I was watching The Bachelorette, so I didn't bother. But some people had a hard time. They either were watching it live, or they could not find the episode. So
yeah, and that's I'm not sure why they put the actual episode on there. Like I understand that they're trying to flow traffic to Paramount Plus. It seems like every show is doing something on Paramount Plus these days, so they're really trying to boost this as a streaming service. But it's actually not very accessible in Canada. You don't get the Challenge All Stars. I didn't check to see if you can get Love Island USA, but like there just wasn't any options. So if you bought Paramount Plus and you're in Canada, you can't get anything. So yeah, it's pretty challenging to be able to get the episode in close to real time. I don't know why they're not making it worldly accessible, you know?
yeah, I don't think it was as successful as they think it's supposed to be. So that was my whole thing.
Do you think that they're doing that though, because you were mentioning that they have the drop or something that is going to be kind of like After Dark, I would say, for Big Brother, where it's kind of they leave the cameras rolling and it's unedited footage. So maybe they're trying to get people to subscribe to Paramount Plus so they can participate in that type of content.
I definitely think that that's what they are trying to do. That they're trying to get us all excited for these exclusives and all these exclusive drops that they're going to be doing going forward. I'll talk about. I got to watch the drop that happened today, and I'll talk a little bit about it, and I'll talk about why I think it's successful and why I think it's not necessarily successful.
What's successful about just Paramount Plus in general? That if you are excited about going and checking out content on Paramount Plus and then you can't get access to it, no matter how hard you try, that is a fail, in my opinion. So there's thousands and thousands of people that were probably like, ooh, I'm going to watch it. I'm going to go get Paramount Plus because we do have access to CBS in Canada. So be able to watch Love Island isn't something difficult. And so the fact that their entire Canadian population is unable to participate in this exclusive channel option on Paramount Plus, I think it's a fail, a massive fail, that it's only USA that can participate.
I agree. I definitely agree. So it was a little sad because I was like, I felt bad for all the messages I was seeing on Twitter of everybody like, why can't I find the episode? What's going on? And then for all the other people watching the episode, and you're basically, if you're watching the live tweets, you're getting kind of gist of what's happening. I don't think they should put another full episode where there's actual things that actually happen on there. But stuff like the drops, behind the scenes, extended versions, I think that makes more sense.
Sure, but can you make it for everybody?
Right.
I know it's exclusive, but like we are willing to pay. Hi, Ethel. Thanks for joining us. Hi, CJ. Thanks for being here. So let's get into this episode. So we start with Cash, who's crying over Christian leaving. Were you rolling your eyes?
I was just like, why is everybody crying? I was literally like, why is everybody crying? Wait,
why?
I'm like, y'all all got who y'all wanted, and Christian's leaving. I'm like, this should be joy. But apparently he made friends. So
Yes, we would have liked him more if we were with him in the villa, a lot more.
it sounds like.
I was happy that Josh was convinced that he was going home, but I wasn't happy with how the arc of Shannon and Josh went through this episode. I really wish that she wasn't interested in repairing whatever this is. I thought that she was just doing it maybe to be a placeholder until somebody else better came along. But it seems as though from her other conversations where she said like, well, I've wanted a second chance before and like never received it, so I want to give you a second chance. I was kind of like, it's a little bit weak sauce.
Yeah, I think I wrote down, I'll tell you exactly what I wrote down. Shannon kept Josh for unfinished business, but felt guilty that Christian had to leave, but she just wanted somebody to cuddle with.
With. Actually, you're very right. But she said she wasn't ready for him to leave, and didn't want to take the risk of probably be like that she, wouldn't find someone and be done from the island if she's partnered up with Christian. So I guess she also wanted to work on their relationship a little bit because at least then they would be considered a couple, and maybe could eventually be a strong couple. But I just wish she didn't forgive him. I don't think he deserved it.
Not at all. He's rightly contrite in that he understands that his butt was saved, but I don't feel anything from him. Like, I feel like he's just biding his time right now.
Yes, I hope that these new bombshells that come in, like, just break them. Give Shannon somebody that's better looking, that's taller, that's more of like, masculine man that's going to say like, I want you, and like, you're my woman. Like, I think that's what she wants. She likes that, like, kind of not possessive, but like very clearly shows that, hey, she's my girl. You know what I mean? He's kind of wishy-washy in that.
Definitely.
Soft. So Giovanni and Olivia have a conversation, and she kind of mentions that she never really gave him a chance. And honestly, as she's liking him, he's becoming more good looking to me.
He was always good looking to me. I just thought he was a player, so I didn't want anything to like. I'm like, I feel like he's a player. He'll probably play some of these women, but he really, he really has come out of his shell, in my opinion.
Yep.
He's thoughtful, he's insightful, he has funny parts, he's good looking, and I think he really is coming to the experience the way you should be coming at the experience. Mm-hmm. He surveyed the land, and he's like, Olivia is the person I want right now.
Yeah, I'm liking him. I know some people don't care for him that much, but I would, if it were me, I think I said this yesterday and probably the day before too, but I'd probably want to couple up with Giovanni than Cinco, but like Cinco second, not rather than. What do you think about Jeremy carrying over Aimee to the wet couch?
I don't like Jeremy at all, and we'll go through that more as the episode goes on, but I felt like Aimee was a little more focused on Josh.
Well, she's the one in there. She was like, I wish that Shannon didn't pick Josh. Maybe she felt uncomfortable that she was being used as a part of like their relationship. Like, if you're going to be working on your relationship with Shannon, maybe Aimee was like, don't be kissing me and bringing me into this like drama. Maybe that's why she didn't want him to necessarily be there.
Yeah, I was a little confused on that. They're kind of like, kind of giddy that they're together, but I just don't see the chemistry. I'm not seeing it. I'm not feeling it. I don't understand it. Like, there is not, and Aimee is gorgeous. I should be feeling heat. Like, I feel nothing. And I don't know if it's mostly because I really, really do not like Jeremy, or if it's that they're just like not a good couple.
I think it's both. I think that he doesn't offer anything besides looks, really, and he's not that good looking. He doesn't have, we talk a lot about swagger, and that's what Cinco has. He has this like, just like swagger. He's masculine in a way that's like confident, and like what he exudes, I find Cinco is very sexually appealing, and I don't feel as though what Jeremy exudes is anything in that ballpark. Nice, he seems like a nice enough guy.
Yeah, like and the crazy thing is, you didn't get to watch the drop today, but in the drop, Olivia says that she thinks that Jeremy is the hottest guy in the villa currently, and I'm like, your taste, girl, your taste is not there for me at all.
Are you guys going to cover the drop episode from today? I didn't see it because I forgot that was going to be an option, but Tamika did. So any pertinent information about the drop that comes up, I think Tamika will share that with us.
Yeah, I'll share a little bit. It wasn't that much things that happened, and most of it we could discuss at the end when we talk more about Isaiah, the new guy that came in. But as we go along, I will drop in some things that kind of carried over from the drop in this episode, basically.
Perfect. Hi, Mary. So Miss Love says, I don't think Aimee is into Jeremy. I don't think so at all. She seems to be saying in the drop footage that his personality wasn't doing much for her when she was comparing him to Isaiah. Ooh.
So I was excited when that conversation happened. Aimee basically was like, Jeremy was here, Isaiah was here, and I was like, yes, because Jeremy needs to go. So, and really, if you watch the episode, like when they meet, she has a lot more chemistry with Isaiah than she does to me with Jeremy, and that was actually what I was hoping for, because I'm like, I really not seeing the chemistry between these two. And she was just like, personality wise, as we said, Jeremy is giving her nothing. Jeremy isn't giving her anything.
And Mary agrees. I don't think Aimee is feeling Jeremy. Me neither. Hi, Kanisha. Jeremy is the worst. Whoa. I mean, he's not great, but Will and Aimee are a vibe. Yep. Will and Kira are a snooze fest. Well, she's just so gaga over him, and she's just kind of like whiny. Like, even if she's not whiny, she's just like something about her, just like a whining kind of personality. I don't know. I'm not really loving Kira and Will together, especially since they had this hideaway date. We might as well talk about it. Who cares? But they ended up getting voted to go into the hideaway by their other cast people, and there's nobody else that would really go. Maybe Shannon and Josh would go because to have an opportunity to repair their relationship. But
yeah, I think if Shannon and Josh had not gone through what they just went through, I think it would have been a little more of a fight between the two of them, with probably Shannon and Josh technically being able to win because they were coupled up the longest. But at this point, Will and Kira are the strongest couple. That's not saying too much to me. I don't know. There's something off about them, and I like them individually. I really like Will. Kira, she's okay, like separately when I see her talk to the girls, you know what I mean? But just something about them, I don't know. And I'm a sappy person. I love sap. I like watching sap. But for some reason, these two are not working for me.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I totally agree with you here. I'm trying to see what, I think her sign is, isn't she a Leo? I have her their sign somewhere. So you would think that she would be a little bit more like, maybe she's just like a passive Leo.
Yeah, no.
I don't remember. I'll just keep on looking. And you know what? I usually like when people like get together and they're good looking and they're making out. I couldn't watch them make out in the hideaway. It was too like slow and like, not that it probably was good. Like, it probably felt good. It probably was a good kiss. But watching it, it was just a little bit too like intimately slow. I don't know. I felt like a voyeur, and it was uncomfortable.
So this is the one thing I was saying about I think I said it yesterday that they kept saying, "Oh, uncensored, uncensored." I said, "Uncensored to me means sex," and then and I said, "And if uncensored to y'all means cussing, I'm gonna cuss you out." And so CBS is getting the cuss out right now because cursing is not uncensored.
Was
It is
there any?
not uncensored. They were basically cursing through the entire episode, but like I will say maybe like these exclusive hideaway drops will be better when somebody actually has sex, but this wasn't working for me. And it was like it was extended. Like normally we get a couple of scenes with them talking and then a couple of scenes with them in bed and then they cut it off. This was just them making out and I was just not feeling it.
Yeah, I didn't want to watch it. It was uncomfortable. Mary says, I like Kira, but I hate to say it, but she is boring. I think if you stay in a relationship in the beginning, you have to have a great personality to go with the steady relationship to win. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're not fun. Like, hopefully he can bring out the fun side of her. Because like he has some flavor. Like he has some chutzpah, I do want to see him bring out like
he has swag. He's sweet, but he has swag. But I'm not seeing it, and I think it's like there. I don't want to say she's not playing hard enough to get. There's no playfulness. There's no substance. It's all just. I don't know what it is. I don't know the word. I'm sure there's a word for it, but it's not hitting for me.
It's too serious. Where's the enjoyment of each other's company? Like they're like, oh, I really want to get to know you more. Well, like get to know them more instead of just like kissing. Like I just want to see like more fun stories. Like I want to see them being playful and having little inside jokes. Like even with Sally and Johnny, I know that we're like not standing Johnny at all right now, but like in the beginning when they were just like having their secret handshake and like, he'd be picking her up and they're practicing, the Dirty Dancing lift. Like I want to see them interacting in a way that's not just like, I just love kissing you.
Yeah, like I at first I was like, oh, I don't know if I want to be the first person in the hideaway, like the first couple, because yes, you get some alone time to talk, maybe you make out, but there's just like there's no real intimacy because you feel constricted, like it's too early. But thinking about if we go back to thinking about Johnny and Sally, I think they had a good first hideaway experience. It was hot. It was, they were just starting to get to know each other and they did not go all the way. So there's something missing, a chemistry, a spark or something. And I'm not understanding why that is.
I think she's taking it too seriously and she just needs to have a little bit more fun.
That could probably be it.
Be more fun. Ms. Love says, I like Kira and Will separately too, but together they're a bit lackluster. I feel like Will's personality would shine more if he wasn't in their couple. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, she's beautiful. She put on sexy lingerie. Did she? I was kind of watching like this, with one, like kind of looking through my hands. And did she ever reveal the lingerie after with the robe, or like did she just change into something else?
We saw her wake up with him, and she was wearing like a black teddy pajama thing.
Yeah.
But I think she was wearing the robe most of the time, and then maybe you know what? Maybe they changed it because they were in the hot tub first too.
True.
So maybe they wore like swimsuits and then changed out. It's possible. And I would say that the hideaway this year is a lot more like the UK ones, where like they have like a full room with the hot tub off the balcony.
Is that the same hot tub that Aimee was in?
Yes, it was the same hot tub that Aimee was in.
Gotcha. So this is one of the first times in the episode where we see Trina shadiness come into the light, because she says at some point, come to my bed to Cinco, ... just kidding. this isn't right. I'm really mad at Trina. I really am disappointed in all of her intentions in this episode. I want you to find love. I get it. You are hurt that Jeremy kind of left you without you like realizing that that was what was going on. I get it if you weren't with JB, that Cinco probably would have picked you. But like, what about your girls, Cash, who's finding, you know, maybe love in the villa? Like, why do you need to go and be like, well, he's who I want now, and so I should just get him and not respect my friend?
I was very, very unhappy with Trina this episode. Um, I'm not a fan. I think she went about this all wrong. I mentioned yesterday, or the day before. I do. I think it's not even just girl code, but love code. Like what she's doing is not only just to Cash, but to Cinco. He was a second thought, and all of a sudden now everybody's supposed to bow to what Trina wants. And then she put him in the most compromising situation because she tried to kiss him. And it's like, it's not even you talking to him and saying, hey, dude, I like you. I still like you. Sorry things got screwed up, but I'm going to continue to know you, to get to know you. She tried to kiss him. And I don't feel like it's coming from a genuine place. I feel like it's coming from not only just a desperate place, as CJ is saying, but also it's coming from a place of like, she feels like she should be able to get what she wants because she's better than both Cinco and Cash.
Exactly. It's kind of like she thinks that she deserves to have whatever relationship she wants, and that Cash doesn't get to have it because Cash was second choice. She's definitely coming across desperate to me, and I'm hoping that it's a turn off to Cinco, because I don't know, like, it's not even like they are like getting wasted and like a silly moment happened because like you're.
Oh, no, she blamed it on the alcohol. You didn't hear her?
Oh my God, she did? I didn't hear that.
When she talked to Cinco later on the couch, she's like, I'm sorry, you know, just I was, you know, just a little bit too tipsy. She blamed it on the alcohol. And so that's why I'm saying, and I feel like Cinco handled the situation exactly. Cinco handled the situation correctly. Trina handled the situation very wrong. And I will give Cinco props. I do have some issues with him, but I feel like he handled this situation with Trina, what happened on the stairs, after everything afterwards, he handled it absolutely properly. Absolutely properly.
And her on the stairs, like being like, "Oh, don't fall," and she's like, "Why?"
Yeah.
It's like, why are you doing this? Like, it's so unappealing to me. I don't know if he's
and she can't say it's alcohol. She tried, but she can't say it's alcohol because we know for a fact that they've said they don't allow them to drink that much.
Yeah, two glasses like for the night. I think it is something quite low. Trina's moving crazy right now. Hi, Netha. There's nothing wrong with wanting to get to know Cinco, but she is shady for going behind Cash's back. Cash has been there for her since day one. Exactly. Fact. Saying like, we're two Black women in the villa. We'd never get this opportunity. Let's support each other. And then now they're fighting over one guy.
Not cool. Not cool. Not a good look. It looks bad on Trina all around. It really does, and I'm not happy with her.
Now, what do you think is going to happen though with Isaiah coming into the villa? Do you think that Trina's going to be all jealous that Isaiah doesn't pick her? Or like, what do you think is going to happen with that dynamic?
So based on the drop, she's not interested in him. She's interested in Cinco.
She just wants to get the guy from Cash. It's all. I think that's it. I think it's the challenge. She thinks she's better than her. She's being competitive between the other Black girl in the house. I really think that she's only this interested in Cash because in Cinco, because Cinco is interested in Cash.
Right. And I feel like Cinco actually he saw the whole entire thing that happened for what it was. I do feel like too, I'm not sure if he especially didn't give her any play because of Jeremy. I feel like Jeremy has definitely portrayed her a certain way to the guys. And so I think that's also given Cinco pause and made him a little bit weary, which if that's the case, I'm glad for. Otherwise, I don't like Jeremy. But I also think he did say he was not happy with the fact that she's just all of a sudden now like, okay, I wanted Jeremy, but now I want you, so you should just come to me. When he's saying, I'm with Cash, I see myself with Cash, we would have to build a relationship. And I do not have a problem with anybody being sexually forward. I will never have a problem with any woman being sexually forward. What I have a problem with, Trina, is talk to your girl first. Tell her, listen, I'm going to do everything I need to do to get this man. And if she didn't do that, she was wrong. And I don't think she did. Her not saying to Cash, I'm full steam ahead on Cinco, which means if Cash hears she kissed him, tried to kiss him, she's like, well, she did say she was going to go after the man. What can I do?
Exactly. So Trina's moving mad. She should have had a convo with Cash. Exactly. To keep it 100 before she made any move. She's looking bad and it is her fault. Agreed. She's losing friends quickly because nobody wants a girl that's up to steal your man and disrespect you and embarrass you and shame you on national television. Nobody wants to be your friend. And I'm wondering if some blowback has happened because why wasn't she at the brunch? Why wasn't
she was so based on the drop, she wasn't feeling well and she went and took a nap. Now
she's starting to, I think she's starting to isolate herself because the fact that she's done this and now people don't really want to.
I think she made herself sick to her stomach because she knows, I think she might have gotten wind that people found out what she did with Cinco, and she probably went and isolated herself because the girls did interrupt her nap and she did get up. Because my whole thing is, if I wasn't feeling well and I went and took a nap and a bunch of people came in, new guy or not, I would have stayed napping. So she ends up getting up. But yeah, I was wondering what happened to her at the brunch, but we find that out in the drop.
Seriously, I think she keeps leading with her sexuality. I don't like how Jeremy handled her, but I do think the constant sex talk was one thing that he pointed out before Aimee came into the villa. It's a bit much. I think that, like, I agree with you. I don't mind people leading with their sexualities, but that isn't your personality. Like, just being, like, it's not, I think that she's doing that to hide. I think that she's doing that.
It's part of her guard. It's what she uses to guard herself. And that is why Cinco can see that she is not genuine and he has more of a pull to Cash, because Cash, while Cash is not his physical type or what he's used to dating, he knows that Cash is a general girl as well as being beautiful. So the pull is stronger for him for Cash.
Because he likes hanging out with her. He doesn't just want to sleep with her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, when I watch them interact, I'm just smiling from ear to ear because they're just so, like, what was he said something, he's like, even though you annoy me sometimes or something.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I need to see more of from Will and Aimee. It's that playfulness back and forth that says that you're building a genuine relationship, not sexual relationship, not chemical relationship, a general relationship, friendship beyond the kissing and the hugging and the hanging out, because then that says to me what you're doing is not necessarily genuine. It's just like you're easy to break because there's no basis there.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Realist. Oh, I hate this black girl fighting over the one black guy scenario. It's being repeated from last season, even though Justine isn't the same. The optics are. Yep. I mean,
this is the problem with casting, and I will go down fighting saying this. The problem with casting is they do not cast enough men, black, white, Hispanic, blah blah blah, that exclusively want to date black women. So you're going to have one or two whatever men that are there who like black women that black women are going to have to fight over. And unfortunately they, I really do like the casting, the cast staging this year. But again, we're back to There's one black guy who literally came in there and said he only wanted the 2 black women who were there.
Yeah, exactly. There should be more people that have this similar taste to Cinco. And I think Cinco as well, like as much as like he's into both of these black women, I think that he probably dates other backgrounds as well. I think that he's really attracted to black women. I think everybody should be open to dating everybody. That would
right. And I would normally be, listen, I have no problem with everybody dating everybody. The unfortunate thing is when you do that, then you have black women who are not chosen, and you have Asian men who are not chosen. Like if you see on the UK side, so many times the Asian men aren't being chosen. Like, you know, a Nas or somebody that, you know, he's dating, but there's never a girl who wants him just for him. They want the typical, you know, white Anglo-Saxon male, and it's not fair to either. So that is why when you're casting, you know, it's not enough anymore to say, do you date everybody? Do you like everybody? Or are you willing to date outside your type? You have to start casting for people who want to date these specific people if you're going to cast those specific people.
Like, even if it's like, I know they probably want to seem like they're not being judgmental. They want to look like they're being open-minded. But even to have boxes like, what races are you willing to date and have you dated in the past? Like,
right, both. And how many? Yeah, that. Mm-hmm.
Because like they should be like, tick, I have dated a black person before. Tick, I've dated a Southeast Asian before. Tick,
exactly.
You know, like I want to see that so that there is an attraction that we can actually physically see instead of just like lip service.
Right, because chemistry is chemistry. You can't not chemistry, you can't fight chemistry, and you cannot predict chemistry. Even when you watch shows like Married at First Sight, they will take your typical type, your non-typical type, your boxes checked, the boxes that should be checked. But at the end of the day, the one thing that they cannot cast for is that the chemistry is going to be perfect. That is why the show has failures, because you cannot cast chemistry.
Yeah, not at all. So what did you think though about, so Cash, I don't know if she knew about the Trina stuff yet, but before they were going to bed, she koala hugs Cinco, and then Cinco runs to the guys that were in the shower and was like, she's never really shown that kind of affection before. Like, what do you think about that? So I wasn't sure what happened in that whole little section.
So what I got from that was that maybe he thought that she did it because she might be insecure, because he's like, it came out of nowhere. And we do find out later that she says she's been guarded. She knows she has been guarded, but she says the reason why. But I think what he didn't realize is that was really spontaneous, because based on her words at the recoupling, she feels safe. She feels like this guy could really bring something to her. And so, because I told you, I did not think they would have moved this fast at this point. Yeah. I thought that it was going to be a slow going. They have chemistry. It was going to be more personality. I did not see the sexual chemistry being 24 hours, 48 hours later. And so that to me tells me that not only, you know, does Cash find him really, you know, something that can bring out to her sexual side, but he is willing to entertain her sexual side. And so I think that's why he was talking to the boys, because I think he was like, well, this happened with Trina, and now this all of a sudden, like, both things to him probably were, what just happened? Like, both girls are not doing
sudden, like, attracted to him.
Yeah. Both girls are just out of nowhere not doing the things that they were normally doing.
Okay, so CJ wants to know, why does Cinco keep on telling Trina that he is sexually attracted to her?
Because it's honest and it's true. He's already told her that. He told her that day one. It would be a lie.
If I were Trina and I had a guy that I was interested in saying, like, I'm sexually attracted to you, I would be like, oh, but you're not interested in having a relationship with me. That's what I would read it as. It's like, oh, you only want to sleep with me, like, you're not interested in getting to know me.
And that's the point. This is where, when later on, Cash has the proper conversation with him, and he's like, you and I vibe really well. We do this, we do that. And she's like, but you have yet to say I'm beautiful, I'm sexy, blah 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 blah. And then he realized, no, 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 don't mistake me. I am. So Cash did it properly. She got him to reiterate what it is that everything that he finds he likes about her. Trina is fine with him saying he's sexually attracted to her because that is what she leads with. That's all she needs. And that's what she's going to build off of. What she doesn't understand is that's not enough.
No way. Yes. Hopefully.
Hi, I'm Jordan.
Hi, I'm Jordan. Okay, Realnesss says we've had this conversation a million times about casting. It is literally not hard to do a lightweight background digging to see who people has previously dated. If you don't see a variety, don't pick them. I agree. There's thousands of people that are vying to be on Love Island. Like, you can't find 10 people that like date multiple races regularly. Like,
Right.
It shouldn't be that difficult. Why? Like, there's 350 million or something people in the United States, and you can't find, like, say 30 in total.
Like even Katie from The Bachelorette, she like literally, if you dig into her history, she's dated every race.
Okay, I didn't know that, so that's good.
Yeah,
to hear.
I think she had a relationship with a man who was Asian. She's dated black guys. She's dated white guys, and that's what they casted for her. They didn't cast enough Asian men for me. They pulled the one Asian guy that I would have liked to see on her season. I'm hoping that they're saving him for Michelle's season personally. But
Dr. Joe?
No, his name was Bao.
Oh, right. That was originally cast for Tasha, I believe, and then he didn't.
No, he was originally cast for Katie, and they pulled it out before it aired. But I mean, before they started filming, and so we're hoping that, kind of like, I think Greg was originally for Clacia's season. I think we're hoping that he ends up on Michelle's season, but we'll see. But yeah, so if you see that, it's reflective in what they've given her to date on the show.
100%. And it's really would be that very easy just to get, like, just people are lying probably to get on the show, be like, yeah, I date everybody, and then they really only date blondes.
But as Realist is saying, what is the how extra is it? It can't be that extra to dig in a little bit. It's social media alone is so easy to find who people have dated before.
Sam says, yeah, she's similar to Rachel. She didn't feel comfortable in a throuple. Yes.
Which one, Cash or Trina? Because Cash doesn't seem to feel comfortable with it.
I guess, like, Trina is similar to Rachel. No, yeah, Cash is similar to Rachel. She didn't feel comfortable in a throuple.
Because that is what Cash is saying. She's like, I don't feel comfortable. She's like, I think what she did that night, she felt safe and comfortable, and then the next morning, after he told her that at bedtime, she's like, crap, like, am I setting myself up to be hurt? Because I know that this girl, and I love her, but I know she's also his type. So am I going to set myself up to hurt? And who wants to set themselves up knowingly to get hurt?
Well, like, but then also, is she just going to bow down to Trina because, like, she's more sexually persuasive than Cash, which I think is also really annoying. It's kind of like just getting bullied by the pretty person, being like, well, like, you know, like, even for me, like, growing up, I'm always like, well, you can have like someone liked me more, but like a friend of mine would like be more aggressive towards them, and she'd get the guy, and I'd be like, okay, well, like, as long as you get the guy. And like, I always put myself second in a lot of situations where, like, even though I was originally like the first choice, but somebody else showed interest, and like I would take a step back. And so I would.
Yeah, I've definitely done that. I know exactly what you're saying, and I've definitely done it a bunch of times, especially when I was younger. So much that I stopped dating in my circles. Like, even now, I will not date in my town. I don't date in my town. I can't be bothered. Like, I don't need that drama in my life.
No, I'm just not like friends drama about a guy. So I'm thinking that some people must lie about their preferences, especially the UK ones, because I don't see why it is so bad with casting or the producers. They just don't care and want to just tick boxes. Yeah, I think that people are just lying on their applications saying like, yeah, I'm open to dating everybody. I love all people from all backgrounds, saying the politically correct thing, when in reality they've never dated anybody outside of their race and they're only particularly interested in a certain type or look.
Right.
Am I the only one that doesn't really like Trina? No, we all are not fans of Trina right now. It's slowly declining. We liked her in the beginning. We liked her when she was originally started to pursue Jeremy. And then as that deteriorated, so did our affections for her, because the way that she's moving right now, I'm not a fan of, because I think it just goes against all the codes that we would hope that she would be having between her and Cash. So yeah, we don't like Trina here. Well, at least me and Tamika. Maybe people in the chat would like her more. I don't like how she's handled her situation with Cinco and Cash. Absolutely. Neither do we. So Kat also said that she felt that Cinco is with her because it feels safe, not her exact words. I agree. I mean, I think, yes, he does feel safe, but I do see him building something that's a little bit unexpected to him. I think he likes her. I do.
And I was saying, I wrote it down because I really noted this. I feel like Cinco's in a tough spot because he said he's leaning Cash, right? But he was like, oh, I don't know what to do about Trina, because she is my type. And I'm like, so is this what happens when you date an atypical type? Is this the issue that you have, where you're scared, you're happy with what you have, but you're scared that it's not going to last because that's not what you're used to? And so what I think is, what I find, especially on this show, is the men on this show, when they date people outside of their type, they start having insecurity and fear, and then they start balking. And then it's like, okay, we're seeing them moving mad, but it's really like, it's really just an insecurity because they don't know how to handle it.
Absolutely. And, one thing that I like, though, is how Cinco seems to have a good relationship with all the guys. And so before they're getting ready for bed, all of them are kind of cuddled up on one bed, and Cinco runs and jumps on them and literally breaks the bed.
It's like, y'all broke the bed. What were y'all thinking? I'm like, why would you do that? You're too big for the bed.
But I still liked the playful energy of that whole moment, it was
fun.
Are big family, and I like the relationships and bonds that everybody really end up making on these shows. I like that.
Yeah.
He says Cinco wants Cash to put her walls down, but he hasn't closed off Trina. But maybe he doesn't want to fully close off Trina because he doesn't know where Cash fully is. It must be hard for both.
I agree. And a lot of people are mad at Cinco right now on Twitter that I was looking at based on last night's episode, because they feel like he's playing both sides. But I was, at first it was like, no, you have to close it down. But then when Cash did say that she knows she's being guarded and that is not easy for her, then I said, okay, I understand both sides. I understand Cinco's side. I understand Cash's side. And I'm not going to say either one is right or wrong, because this is relationship problems. At the end of the day, I don't think you know what to do when you're in that type of situation. Well, the person that's wrong is Trina.
I personally think that she's had this battle before and she's lost to the other Trinas in her life, So
right.
You see her not wanting to do this whole fight over a guy when Trina's going to win because she's leading with her sexuality and Cash is leading with personality. That's what I'm thinking. So I think that the only thing for Cash to do if she wants Cinco is to just take the chance and let her walls down. If it doesn't work out, then it just doesn't work out, but she needs to give it a chance to work. Agreed.
I think that's ultimately what she's going to do, what she's going to find, unless Isaiah shows some interest, and then she might have a conflict herself. I don't think so. But I definitely think that that's what she's going to ultimately end up doing, because Cash has literally said she's not focused on Trina. She's not focused on Trina and what Trina's doing. She's focused on herself and figuring out how she wants to move. And I think if she wants Cinco bad enough and she knows that that's what she's going to have to do, she's going to do it.
Yay, Divine Mean. I'm happy that you saw the episode. Definitely, we are fans of Cinco and Cash. Because of the Trina situation, it's difficult for them to go on, but I think they will talk it out. What do you think about how Cash, though, she kind of talked to everybody else about the whole situation with Trina, as opposed to directly going to Trina?
I was fine with it. You know why I was fine with it? Trina should have came to her first. Cinco told her in bed at that. And second of all, I think she doesn't want to play into that, black girl versus black girl thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think she wanted to give the camera that. And I was happy with it.
Also, I think that Cinco gives pretty good advice. He was talking to Josh at one point and telling Josh, like, hey, like, it's the whole the honesty thing. And like we're noticing that he does practice what he preaches. Like, he was honest with Cash. He hopefully would be more honest if like he went on a date with Trina or anything like that. I think that he'd be upfront, honest, and like talk to her before and after. And so I'm happy with the advice that he's giving Josh, being like, hey, like, you just didn't tell her, you didn't warn her, you didn't respect her enough to allow her to know what you were doing. And hopefully Josh got the memo. I don't really care actually if he does or he doesn't, because I want him gone, but for Shannon's sake, I hope he got the memo.
Right. Yeah, I whether Josh got the memo or not will remain to be seen. In the drop, he was kind of like, oh, because Shannon's like flirting with Isaiah,
right,
which I was happy about. She was very open.
I hope that they take her on a date.
Yeah, and he was like, they were like, she's gonna make you sweat, and he was like, no, I'm gonna play cool. She deserves to do exactly what she's gonna do. And they're like, but also know that the girls are gonna help her make you sweat. And he's like, yeah, I got it. So he says that he he's being nonchalant, and the guys all think that the girls aren't gonna understand because he's gonna be able to take it. I don't know if he's gonna be able to take it if he really likes Shannon, but
I mean, they might try to make it work just to get to the end of the game, but I think Shannon might be too pissed off. So if she has an opportunity to jump ship, I could see her doing it, wanting to have a little bit of retaliation. So M. Jordan also watched the bonus episode. The beach noise was annoying. I don't know what that means. What's the beach noise?
Oh, so in the drop, this is the part that does not work for me in the drop. There are certain parts of the conversation they blacked out with ocean waves. So they're having full conversations, and instead of us hearing the full conversation, they're talking. We hear most of it, and then there's pieces where they like beach waves, and it's like, then give us the edited version of the drop, because that like what annoyed me was Isaiah was talking about his background, and they kept cutting out some of it, and I'm like, but that's what I want to know. I want to know his background.
Okay, that's really nice. So to make it be like, oh, it's so raw footage that we edited it. With their on. If it's not going to be live, real time, in the moment where I'm reading lips, like on Big Brother live feeds, I then want to have the audio linked up. Link up the damn audio, because it is edited to a certain extent. You can match audio. They have timestamps for everything.
Right.
It wouldn't be that.
So that's the part that doesn't work for me in this exclusive extra scene drop thing. I'm like, no. So we do find out about Isaiah. Apparently his grandfather, I think on his mother's side, might have been adopted. And so he doesn't know his background on that side. And that they did some sort of test, and they think Armenian was like the most percentage. And on his father's side, he's Native and Black.
Ooh, wait, Native and Black, and sorry, what was the other side?
Armenian.
That's a nice mix.
Yeah.
Now we'll bring in some pretty babies. Okay, so at the bottom, the end of this comment from Jordan, but somebody said it could be because Love Island are trying to protect the private information because it isn't
That's what it seemed like, that they, like, either they were blanking out like names or where they exactly. So he was also talking about that he lives in Houston, and so him and Cinco and Josh were talking about, like, I guess Cinco might have lived in Houston at some point, so he was talking about where he lived in Houston, and they were talking about like exact streets in some points, and then like, oh, I used to do this around the corner from this, and they were kind of like blacking out those parts, so like sensitive information. But my whole thing is, then edit it, like chop it up a little bit and cut that part out. I don't want to hear beach waves.
Or like Big Brother, they have kind of training on what they can and cannot say on the live feed. So they can't sing songs, don't say any names of people, don't say any names of products. Like there's certain things that they have education around. So I mean, obviously people slip up every once in a while, but they have an idea of like, oh, I shouldn't mention my brother's name and where he works in Houston. Like they know that. And so at least it'll be a little bit easier to not have to be bleeping out or putting some ocean waves on top of important conversations. Because like, I still want to see these interactions. I don't want to cut it all out. So if they just had known, they probably don't know that it won't be edited out, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. I said somebody didn't like send a memo, and they'll probably need to, like, going forward, have that conversation, because they're going to get a lot of people messaging them about this beach sound. It was annoying. It was like they were having full-on conversations, then in the middle of the conversation it would be beach sounds, and then they would go back, and it's like, well, what did we miss? Like, we missed something because you were talking about an important subject, and then we missed some part of it.
So what does Divine mean? What do you mean by that she spread the rumor, that she doesn't think that Cash spread the rumor? She just trusted a person. They spread it before Cash started to talk to everybody.
So I mean, it wasn't a rumor. Trina tried to kiss Cinco. He told the boys. She told all the girls. The only person that doesn't know that Cash knows is Trina. And I mean, that's it. And I don't know if she was embarrassed or whatever. She tried to blame it on alcohol, that's not possible, because they don't get enough alcohol for that to happen.
Not at all. What am I talking about there? Well, okay, so I guess they got a text though, and then they're making this brunch. Is that all that happened? Oh, Trina and Corey had a bit of a conversation that went nowhere.
No. Trina is not interested in Corey.
No,
she's just biding her time before. He said that the first time they ever had a conversation was right before the recoupling, and she chose him. So she just gave him a chance at love. He should not invest his time into Trina. I hope one of these new girls come in and they find him attractive, or he finds him attractive, or if Trina does steal my Cash, or if Leanne steals my girl Cash's guy, that he couples up with Cash, and they take it, a friendship couple for a while, because he should not invest his time into Trina. It's not happening.
One thing we didn't talk about though, what do you think about the fact that in the hideaway, Will was kind of like, let's take it slow, we can kiss, but I really want to get to know you. And then Kira relays this to the women, but she's like, oh, but I'm still really horny. That's why
I said I was not happy. I just the interaction is fake to me. Like, you could have done more, so did more. I just don't. Something about Kira is off for me, and I don't in her relationship with Will, and I don't know what it is, but it feels fake. Like, it doesn't feel like a true relationship. Like, they might be the strongest couple, but it also just feels not centered enough for me, and I don't feel like they're having the. I feel like it's surface conversation. Yeah, let's take it slow. Let's kiss. I like this. Are you having more conversations beyond that? Because if you're going to say afterwards that I'm horny, you should have said that to him, that I really want to do you, but not tonight.
Yes. Anyways, I think that she would have been all over him if she, I think also with her, she doesn't have much substance, unfortunately. And so kind of like Trina with this leading with this sexuality thing, it avoids them allowing themselves to be emotionally connected and getting vulnerable. And I think they just don't know. They just don't know how to let that type of wall down. They just know how to be sexual. And so I think that this is Will being better at relationships. Like he just seems a little bit more confident in
mature. I think he's a little more mature.
Exactly. Divine Me, I saw the message. I'm gonna watch it after because if I play it, they might flag this. So whenever I used to play the first look or whatever, they used to like say copyright issues. So I will look at the clip you sent me after. So Big Red thinks that Shannon's making him sweat, flirt with the other guys thing will only last until the new girls come. By the way, Drop only cut out parts that would give personal information. We know we can address. Yes, I get that. Yeah, that's how Love Island UK is for songs. I like the raw footage though. Like these people were way less awkward than I thought they would be. Like the guys especially have a really good personality, it seems, from them.
Yeah, no, they seem a lot more if you watch the drop, when you watch the drop, they seem a lot more genuine, not so staged, not so edited. I did like that part. My whole thing is just edit out the personal information. Like, we know this is not a live feed like Big Brother, right? Because they're days ahead of us, right? So the new girls have already come in. There's already probably been a recoupling. We're not going to see that for a couple more days. They could have edited out that personal information rather than done. To me, it just felt lazy.
Yeah.
The amount of time that it took you to add in beach waves, you could have just cut that part out.
Right? Jesus. We got it. Okay, so she was okay. So I guess wait. No, the fun thing I want to say before we get back to the brunch is that Giovanni is kind of talking with Olivia, and he finds Trina to be a little bit sketchy. And so if other men are noticing how you move in the villa, like that's I think a bit of a problem, and that she's like probably people aren't liking Trina that much anymore. That's what I'm thinking.
Well, to go further back, Jeremy was like that. So Cinco brings Cash tea or coffee or something, which I thought was cute. And then she tells the girls what was said, and then they, the guys are talking, and they're talking about how that the girls feel like cuddling means more than it is, or does he have PTSD from old girl? And I'm just like, I don't like you.
Oh dear.
I don't like Jeremy. There's nothing that's gonna make me like him. I don't like him at all. He's acting like he had nothing in that situation, like he didn't do anything in that situation. And I'm not saying that Trina isn't forward, and I'm not saying that Trina is perfect, but the way Jeremy is acting is totally disgusting. That being said, I think he literally turned every single guy that's there off from Trina. Now, what Giovanni said is he paints out to be a girl that he treats Trina out to be a girl that goes after what she wants. And
What's up? Uh-oh. Am I gone? Am I gone or is you gone? Uh-oh. Am I gone or you gone? Am I gone? Let's see. Well, I guess I can continue talking until someone tells me who is gone. Because to me, it looks like Tamika's gone. Tamika's gone. Okay, so I'll just continue talking here. So, yeah, I think what Tamika was about to say was that she appreciates the fact that she's a woman that goes after what she wants. Totally fine, totally cool. But if it was, it's just the way that you do it. I don't respect the way that she's going about this, and especially with it being the only other Black woman in the villa that's supposed to be her friend that she's supposed to be, protecting. And so I do feel like Giovanni doesn't like that side of it. It's like he likes going out to, go after what you want, but also be respectful for the people that are in your life. Like, these are your family, your Love Island family, and for her to like not respect that at all. Not great.
Sorry,
hey girl,
Amanda.
I was like, to me, I was like, is it me? Is it me? Because I've been having such internet problems for the last few days.
No, my computer died. Sorry about that.
Oh no. And I was like wondering if it was me. And I'm like, all good.
I cannot wait for my bedroom office to be complete so I don't have to be moving my computer back and forth. But yeah, so Giovanni literally paints Trina out as a girl who knows what she wants and goes after it. And I to some respect, totally agree with him. I think that's the case. Trina knows what she wants now, and that's what she's going to go after. My problem is how she's going about it. And I think that's what the issue is with a lot of people. It's how she's going about it. Trying to kiss Cinco, trying to do things behind Cash's back is wrong.
Or like when she says, I still want you. I wish I was in her position.
Yeah, come to bed with me. Like, come to bed with me.
Other woman, like, she's trying to be the mistress.
Yeah. Like, let's do things underhanded and secret, and then if it gets back to Cash, we just apologize. She'll understand. She'll take it. That's not right. It's not right.
Not right at all. Olivia and Trina talk and a little bit, and I don't know who said it, but somebody's uncertain about things. I guess Trina.
Yes, I think she was just like, because when Olivia and Cash talked before Giovanni pulled her, Cash let her know that Cinco said that he told Trina he wanted Cash, and that it's just that's the way it is. What Trina was saying is, it's a hard situation because I know he wants Cash, but he's who I want. But basically the biggest issue is that Trina doesn't want anybody else, and so I don't think it's a game. I think it's an insecurity. She just can't see the fact that she's one of those women that can't see the fact that she can't get the man that she wants, and that somebody in her head who she feels is lower than her could get him.
I have a question. Did in the beginning of this season, was Trina a woman that said something like, "Oh, I don't get along with other girls. Like, I'm a guy's girl"? Is she someone that said that? I'm just curious.
I don't think she ever said that.
Usually those type of the girls that say that, like, other women find me are jealous, like, you know what I mean? But it's because they move like Trina. They don't like her because they go after your men. Anyway, so I was just curious if she ever said that, and then I could like make a link with that. But I'm not really a fan with how Trina's moving at all. I think like they get a text and they have to go make some brunch and stuff like that. And they were all doing this all together. If I was sick, I mean, I never really get sick, but if I wasn't feeling well, I would still force myself to do these activities as a group because it really bonds you in this experience. And I'm all about experiences and meeting people and meeting and interacting in interesting circumstances. That's why I like reality TV. That's why I would go on one of these shows, because of the social experiment of it all. So the fact that she's just sleeping in bed while I'd have so much FOMO. Like, there's no way that I would allow that to happen. But I think it's because she knows that Cash must be telling people what's been going on, because maybe people are treating her a little bit differently. We see Cash working out with Kira, and telling her the whole scenario. So I think at this point, everybody knows how Trina has been moving, and they probably aren't really here for it because Cash is so likable.
Yeah, and to that point, I think from what we've heard from past seasons cast members, you're not allowed to nap, because it's messes up production. Mm-hmm. So I think she would, if she wanted to get away or whatever without anybody, she would have to say that she didn't feel well or whatever it is. That being said, I think she made her own self sick. I think she really did. I think she made herself sick, and she's trying to regroup and figure out what she wants.
She was laying down, headache, and the girls didn't even bother to wake her because of the cast situation. Well, you did say though on the drop that they did try to wake her, correct?
No, they woke her up by accident because the new guy came in and they were giving him a tour.
Oh.
So what happened was the brunch, the girls cooked, so the guys ended up cleaning up, and then the girls gave Isaiah a tour, and when they went into the room they woke her up by accident.
Gotcha. So the drop really showed Aimee doesn't like Jeremy. Well, we know that. She met the new guy for 10 minutes and already set his personality over Jamie's. This season is going to go crazy. Yes.
But did Aimee lie though? So like, did she lie? No.
Truth. Trina's going to isolate herself from everyone if she continues this way. That's what her plan is, so she can look like the victim, and then maybe get voted out, or maybe.
And Cinco's not gonna like that. I don't think he's that type of. I'm back. I don't think he's that type of man. I think he likes being friends with everybody.
Aimee says Cash is a very beautiful Black woman who also has a great person and beautiful personality. Trina is also a beautiful woman, but I think that she is also very, 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 very insecure.
Absolutely. Agreed. This is all coming from an insecure place.
Head. She was never a shaved head. Never.
Nah.
In the intro, Trina mentioned that because of her profession background, she has good knowledge of people, but I think we have to watch out with this. I don't think she's using that information to her advantage, because
but then she would lead with her personality. So I've seen attorneys who are good with people on these reality shows, and they're really good at reading people. They're also really good at manipulating people. I don't see that that's what's happening here. Trina is literally using her sexuality and her good looks to try to build relationships, and that is not going to help on this show.
Correct. In Love Island, it's about your personal love life and not about your work. You have to find a balance between intellectual and emotional intelligence.
Exactly.
Trina was also taken away from Christian at the first couple up ceremony by Jeremy, and Christian has always talked negatively about her after this. Why is
he was so salty?
Jealous?
I said that last episode. He was salty. He was everything coming from Christian was salty because she stepped forward for Jeremy, and after Christian picked her, that's why he was coming from that place. Anything that any other guy. So what it seems like is that with every other guy, she's barely speaking to them except for Cinco, and she only spoke to Corey. Corey is an OG. She only spoke to him the night before the recoupling, like 5 days later. That says that she's not investing her time into any of the guys that she does not have any interest in.
And I think that she probably was like, ooh, like I already have one guy that's interested in me. Let me see how many guys I can get to step forward for me. And so I think there was a little bit of an ego boost there as well, because like she already had somebody that was interested in her. I wonder if Christian was negative because of the stuff Jeremy probably said to him about Trina. That too.
That too. I don't think he needed it, but yes, that too.
Hi, THCE. She said she's known people well because of her job. Yes, and I just don't think that she's using it to her advantage right now. She's not. I don't think she's using it at all, actually, for education or like.
There's no stealth in what she's doing. There's no strategy. There's no. I don't see that. It's coming from insecurity. It's coming from an emotional place. It's coming from a feeling of I'm better than everybody, and that's not going to win her. And that's why I was saying about Aimee. Aimee can be beautiful, and she can be, as you know, getting this sexual being as much as she wants to, but at the end of the day, she needed the girls. And even she said it, like she needed the girls. She's like, I don't know if it was here or the drop, but I think it was in the drop, or was it here?
We
No,
did.
it's here. Cash and Aimee were talking during the brunch, and Cash was like, "Oh, Aimee, I'm glad you came in and you were open to all of us girls." Because at the end of the day, Aimee had to go back and realize, okay, yes, I'm going to steal one of these girls' men, but I need them. And, and so you see, she and Shannon have a better relationship. She and Trina have a better relationship. She seems really close to Olivia um, and Cash. So that's what you have to do in the show. Otherwise, you're not going to last. Because remember, these people, we vote, but also these people vote.
And like, come on, like Amy's picking food out of Cash's teeth. I don't see Trina doing that. You know what I mean? And like, they know each other for longer.
And Cash has been there for every girl. Every girl, she has been there for.
100%. What's going to happen next episode? Did you see a preview?
I did. So this and the first look just dropped actually. But it looks like so the drop was basically us meeting Isaiah, an extended meet of him. They didn't really cut it. And then the girls talking about it, and then Shannon flirting with him, Aimee flirting with him. And I definitely see him vibing with those two, but he says he has no preference. He has no preference. He's dated all over the place. So, but he's been in a long-term relationship for 5 years that was very toxic, and a 1-year fling. And now he's on Love Island. He's from Houston. And so we're going to get, after this, we're basically going to get him starting to build where he's going to be going with these girls. So I think the show is every day for the next few days. I'm not sure when the 3 new girls come in. Maybe Thursday. But it seems like as we're going along, the next recoupling, it's going to be boys' choice, because with Isaiah, it's now not 9 boys. I counted it. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 boys. And then it'll be 9 girls. It'll be 9 girls. So I think 2 girls are gonna get dumped.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that recoupling is gonna be game changer.
Trina might be out. Do you think that Trina was trying to make Cash feel insecure by pointing out that Cinco chose her first when talking to Isaiah? But I loved Cash's response. I didn't see that. Do you remember this part?
Yeah. So they towards the end they come in, and he seems to have spent some time with the boys, but he kind of comes back to the girls and all the girls. And at this point, Trina comes out and he's like, "Okay, so where are you guys at?" And Shannon talks about her and Josh's ups and downs, and just lets him kind of know, I'm open and available. And then Trina basically is like, I'm with Corey, and she insinuates that she's trying to find out what could be there with her and Corey. And I'm just like, no, you're not. And she doesn't say she's open to Isaiah. She basically says, Cinco came in. She was with Jeremy. Cinco came to her first and said he wanted her, but she closed that off because she wanted to be with Jeremy. And and that then Jeremy, as you can see, that's over. So now she's trying to see what happens with Corey, but she also wants to try to see what happens with Cinco. So Cash was there. So Cash knew exactly what, she knows that Trina is going up to Cinco. I don't think the issue has ever been that she didn't know that Trina likes Cinco and he would be her next person that she would go after. What my issue is, the biggest issue I have, is that her trying to kiss him and her trying to seclude him in the stairwell to make out behind Cash's back. Now, Cash's response is like, Cinco and I are together. We're building, a partnership, but we're honest and open with each other. So if he, he's told me what he wants, I've told him what I want, and our thing is honesty. As long as we are honest with each other about what our wants and needs are, we will go forward. And from what we've seen, basically that is what they've been doing.
Hi, Tati. So Tati says, I feel like Will and Aimee have more of a connection than him and Kira. We do too. Will just doesn't want to hurt Kira's feelings. I think he is attracted to her.
I think he's generally into Aimee, into Kira. I just don't think I just don't see. I don't know. I don't know if it's that I don't see them long term. I think there has to be something. Something in the relationship needs to change, and I don't know what it is.
That's probably Kira, because she's just boring. I think she doesn't bring any pizzazz to the relationship, and Aimee has a personality. She brings pizzazz. She talks about her job. She talks about what she does. She talks about being a vegan. Like, she talks about like life, my parents.
And now that she's even more with the girls, she has a way more personality. She's chatting them up. She's talking more than Kira. Like they're sitting there turning to Kira. What do you think, Kira? Kira, what do you think? Like she's not bringing anything to anybody's conversation.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it for the episode. Did you have any other points that you wanted to cover?
Let me see.
While you do that, I can remind the people, hey, subscribe. We love it. It makes the channel grow, and that's what we want to do. We want to build a community of people that love reality TV as much as we do, especially, as Kristen McInnes from Robin's Podcast calls it, dummies on an island. We love dummies on an island, for sure. We're definitely going to consider covering F-Boy Island whenever that happens. So, if you like to see more dummies on an island, that's coming. And we love chatting with you guys here in the chat. It makes these video casts really fun.
Did we talk about Shannon and Josh?
She said that she's putting the brakes. I guess I don't think I said that actually. I read it, but
yeah. That was the one thing she did let Josh have it a bit and said that she's stepping back. They're still connected, but she's stepping back.
Good.
And then the rock paper scissors between Cash and Aimee. Cash is right. I don't know what Amy's doing.
There you go.
That was funny. Yeah. So otherwise, that was the episode. That's what I have.
Me too. Lastly, hi Fashion Me. Welcome back. So Will and Kira are boring, and Aimee and Will have a lot in common. I could see them building something. Yeah, I don't know if he's going to break up with Kira right now, though. So we'll see what ends up happening there. Has Love Island UK picked up now? I think it's a little bit better. I do think so, CJ. So definitely it's better than it was last week. 100%. Well, Tamika, where can people find you if they are looking to have any other contact with you outside of this video cast?
Yes. So as you see, I'm at Entertainment in Color on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, promoting all our favorite people of colors, reality TV shows, scripted TV shows, projects, music projects. We go on and we support our people, guys. So that's where you can find me.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us, especially in the chat. If you're joining us after, leave us a comment. Tell us your favorite couples. Are you Team Trina or Team Cash? There's only one right answer. But
Team Casino.
I'll see everybody tomorrow where we'll talk more.